All right, third day in a row, sixth video in 2 weeks. Commissioner's been on a roll. He's been busy doing this video, then going back to work. Not fun, but I'm going to get everything done in time for Thursday Night Football. So let's do it. So this video is purely matchups. I already talked about everything else having to do with the playoffs. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm very excited. Tonight's a big fantasy game. A lot of big names tonight. Just quick update on Comish's team. Breece Hall still questionable. Dobbins is still out. I picked up Downs off a waiver, which I feel like could be good, and I picked up the Niners backup just in case Garindo goes down. You never know. Downs is still questionable, but I don't need him this week. He needs to get healthy by next week. Just quick looking at Commish, chilling on the bye week. Just wanted to talk about myself for a little bit. Let's get into the real matchups. All right, I got 9 minutes left, which theoretically means I should talk about each for 3 minutes, but I'm not going to do that. This is by far the worst matchup. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. A lot of injuries here. I wrote them all down. So Swift for Clay did not practice. And even if he does play, I don't think he's scored 10 in the past 3 or 4 weeks. The Bears' offense has looked awful. Aaron Jones limited, but hasn't missed a game yet. Had this injury for a while. Looks like he's going to play. Pollard didn't practice. That's very sketchy, especially considering that Hayden doesn't really have a running back replacement. He could put Javonte up, but Pickens is also out, so that would have been who he moves into his flex. And Jordan Mason's on IR, so Hayden's team looking a little thin. If Pollard doesn't play, this is going to get ugly. Clay shouldn't be too worried because even if Swift doesn't play, it looks like Roschon is back from his Thanksgiving concussion. So the injury bug unfortunately favors Clay here. His one injury he has the handcuff for, so we'll have to see. Another big advantage I think here is Jaden Daniels going against that New Orleans defense versus Baker going against the Chargers defense. That's a big boost for Clay here. Clay also has Bijan against the Raiders, which should be huge. Hayden has a couple tough matchups. More against that Minnesota defense. They've been good. And Tyreek has been playing well, but that Houston defense is also good. However, if Pollard plays, that Bengals defense is one of the worst I've ever seen. They are so bad. But the thing with that is Clay has Ridley, who will torch that Denver secondary, I think. Clay's receivers have been very inconsistent. Harrison is so weird. It's just like one game he'll have 1 catch for 5 yards, and the next game he'll have 4 catches for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't know what to think about him. But maybe he'll have that day. New England's defense not very good. Juwan Jennings against the Rams defense tonight. I think Juwan Jennings and Kittle are now the main 2 pass catchers because Debo's so washed. Ayuk's out. CMC's out. Garindo's more of a pure running back. So I like Juwan Jennings tonight. I think that will shift this matchup a lot. So I'm picking Clay here. It's sad to see Hayden leave. I think Clay's got a really, really good team on a lot of good matchups. Going Clay. All right, now moving to my side of the bracket. This is much closer. Ish is projected to win by about 5. This is the opposite. There's no real injuries here. The only injury is Ladd, but that injury makes this very interesting because if Ladd doesn't play, I think he has a shoulder and a knee. It opens the door for Ish to potentially start Josh Palmer in his flex. Last week, Chargers played the Chiefs, I think. That sounds right. And they looked horrible, and Josh Palmer still had 14 points, I think. So that could be a potential plug-in instead of Jonnu in the flex. I don't know. That feels also like an overthink. Jonnu's been great. They're both starting weirdly bad defenses. Like, I know Washington's defense is going up against New Orleans, but we're still not great. But that's better than starting Miami's defense, who has been awful, and Houston's offense. I guess Houston's offenses look bad, but still, they still have the potential. Joe Mixon is still a beast. What's really interesting about this is the Hurts A.J. Brown handcuff that Ish has. I think that's going to be big. The only way A.J. Brown really skews this matchup is if he catches some touchdowns. but that would help Jalen Hurts. I'm taking Ish here. This just comes down to matchups. Ish has the Ravens players. He has Ravens wide receiver 1 and a running back on the week where they play the fucking Giants, and goddamn the Giants are bad. I mean horrible. I think I saw the Ravens are like up to a 17-point favorite, which is not a spread you see very often in the NFL. That's going to be a bloodbath. James Conner has a good matchup. Kittle has a good matchup tonight. And even Jalen Hurts, I think Pittsburgh's defense has shown a propensity to give up a lot of points, but then make a big clutch play when it matters. So I think I could see Jalen Hurts having a good day, which would suck for Rob. Obviously, this is pretty much a coin flip. These teams are about the same. I think I ranked Rob's team better. I think Rob just has worse matchups. Like Gibbs. I mean, Gibbs is going to be fine, but it's just if Monty poaches all his touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy against Kansas City. Browns look like they're regressing a little bit. Laporta against Buffalo, you never know. Laporta still doesn't have a touchdown, I don't think, or maybe he has one. I don't know. I'm going Ish here. His matchups are fantastic, and Jalen Hurts handcuffing A.J. Brown a little bit might just be what he needs to win. Pick an Ish. All right, and here's what we're all here for. Cal versus Brett. I have a full page written up on this. Cal made some changes to his starting lineup. He bought in Jordan Addison. He bought in Pacheco. It's curious. I'm not questioning it. But if I had wide receiver 8 Drake London, probably wouldn't bench him. I think Drake London also has a really good matchup. Yeah, Vegas. Wide receiver 8 against a horrible 2-win team. But hey, Cal's been a great fantasy owner, so I'm not going to question. The injuries here, CD is still questionable, but he's been questionable since week 9. He keeps playing. Mooney is iffy, but he has until Monday to play, so I don't hate that option. And it looks like Joe Burrow is going to be fine. He maybe just is like a little emotionally distressed because we found out about his lesbian lover. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm assuming all the injuries here will play. What else? I think a couple big X factors here for Brett and Cal. If Brock Bowers goes for 25 plus, this game's probably over. Cal needs him to stay under 20. And T. Higgins is a little scary for Cal against a Tennessee defense that is pretty good, but can still be exposed. I think he's coming. I think it's a bounce back game for Higgins. I think he's coming off a game 2 catches for 20 yards. Jamar's coming off a game 4 catches for 177. I think T. Higgins might get some yards. I also like that Joe Burrow kind of handcuffs Chase. I mean, Chase is so much better that it can't be a true handcuff, but it still helps a little bit. I'm talking myself out of my pick. I'm picking Cal. You can't pick against the house. I'm taking Cal. I've picked against him too many times this year. Chase Brown's going to be huge against Tennessee. It's just the Bengals. Who's going to get a touchdown on the Bengals is basically what it comes down to. Cal playing the Bucs defense against Herbert feels weird. I don't know. Maybe that's why Brett's rostering so many defenses. Another thing that this could come down to is weirdly Scott's team. Kenneth Walker III. Keep an eye on him. If he doesn't go, Charbonnet immediately becomes pretty much a must plug and play, I think. But I don't know who Cal would plug him for. So that's going to be something to look out for. I'm picking Cal. I think this is a fantastic matchup, and I don't think it's going to... It might get its own screen on NFL Sunday in my home. This is going to be awesome. I'm predicting Cal, so the semifinals would look Cal versus Clay, East versus Ford. That would be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, here are my official predictions for the week. Like I said, I'm picking every favorite. I think I'm picking the 2, 3, 4 to move on. Not what I would have wanted to do, but hey, run the damn ball. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch some football tonight. I'm excited to watch a lot of football this weekend. I'm excited for Rag's birthday. I'm excited for Reagan's holiday party. I'm excited to see what Ish does at Meredith's holiday party. We got a lot of good shit going on this weekend. Enjoy it, fellas. Let's go.